Hello, in this PulseWorx-EZ video we're going to talk about communication tests, and this is an area, if you're familiar with Upstart, that I think PulseWorx-EZ does somewhat of a better job. So let's take a device like the Studio Deco lights. Now if you remember from an earlier video, we set it up so that the entry keypad controls the Deco lights. So we're going to go ahead and go to Devices, and we're going to select that, and we're going to do a communication test. Now, what's happened? We've opened up a dialog, and it's going to test the communications from the PIM to the device and from the device to the PIM. That's important so that you know when you do programming that those programming commands are reliably going to get there. But that's really only half the story, because normally the PIM doesn't matter at all in this whole thing except when you're doing setup. What really matters is, does that keypad button, the entry keypad, the S2, so the Scene 2 button, that's the second one down, can communicate reliably with the Studio Deco lights. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to test all of these connections. And it's going to go through and it's going to test those, making sure that everything looks good. And sure enough, what do we find? We find that the comm is excellent between all of these devices, and no noise was detected when it did that communication test. Let's go ahead and pick a different one. Let's pick this entry keypad. Now we're going to do a communication test on that. And now notice we're testing the same thing as before, from the PIM to the keypad, from the keypad to the PIM, and then these are the buttons and these are the devices they control. So we're going to test all those kind of paths to make sure that when this device sends, that device goes ahead and receives. Now if you have a big network, this can get really long because there'll be so many connections. So if you just want to test some of them, you could go ahead and select those and then test just those. And as you see, testing is really pretty fast, but with a long list, it still can take a while. So you can go ahead and select the ones you want. And that's it. The only other thing to show you is on the network. There's a whole network communication test, and that's now going to test from the PIM to everything, from everything to the PIM, and then all the interconnections. So like the kids' bedroom lights to the PIM and the kids' bedroom keypad, as we know that all those different buttons control the kids' bedroom lights. So we have to test that. Now notice we don't have to test from the lights back to the keypad because the keypad only sends to the lights. The lights don't send to the keypad. And then the entry keypad to all its individual things. And as I said, this list can get very long. So the comm qualities are excellent, good, and then they start to drop down to low, very low, poor, and then non-existent at all. If you start to get a lot of those really low levels, then you might want to speak to your installer about putting in a repeater in the network, which will improve things vastly. And that's pretty much it about communication testing.